Disons dans quelques instants, nous parlerons sur l'addiction. C'est un programme qui est assez important parce que on sait que l'addiction ne fait pas de distinction de personne, pas de distinction d'âge, de profession, de race ou aussi d'ethnique ou de classe sociale. L'addiction, ça peut bien atteindre n'importe quelle personne. Dans quelques instants, nous présentons notre première édition sur l'addiction. So, what we do today in that specific program, we will talk about addiction. We will review the definition of addiction. We also have the goal to cover the history of addiction. Right? The first question we may ask, as you may see it here, is what causes addiction? What is the etiology of addiction? What makes people to be addicted? To that question, we have four theories that explain the etiology of addiction. And let's say at the beginning, when people are addicted to any substance, they have referred that to a moral problem. They always see those people are people who are low in moral. Until the 18th century, that view had changed actually with Dr. Walsh. Dr. Walsh was the first one that come with the concept, the first person that came with the concept of alcoholism. That he used as an addiction, as a disease. Addiction is a disorder. It's like when someone have a fever. It's similar to that. Addiction is not a moral standard. It's not low moral. So there is like four model of addiction. Addiction can be viewed as a disorder, and that conform the theory of addiction as a disorder. There is a second theory that refers to the learning theory model, and the third theory, the psychoanalytic model, and the fourth theory, the family theory model. So in each of those theories defines addiction differently. What causes addiction? As addiction progress, as we see when someone become addicted, there are like different stage in addiction. People just wake up in the middle of the night and become addicted. No. Addiction is a long process, but the onset of addiction may be triggered by genetics first, because it's a gene. We may have the gene for addiction, that the genetic aspect. Since if you have your father, your mother who was addicted to whether coffee, cigarette, alcohol, or opioid, that gene may be passed on. It may be passed on. So addiction was viewed first as a moral value, if you want, negative value. But that view had been challenged by Dr. Walsh in 19th century. Dr. Walsh was born in 1745, and he died in 1813. There are like many theories that use, as we have said, we have seen that Margolis and Zwembrand had observed four main theories. And they say as addiction progress, it impact different aspects of functioning. Health is affected by addiction. Relationship also. People who are, for example, are addicted to alcohol, more likely they have difficulty in relationship. They get upset, they get involved in fight with their relative or with people they're into relation with their work, family. Addiction also affects someone's career and lifestyle. Treatment and prevention or if for sometimes respond to a lot of complexity since addiction may affect all psychosocial aspect of life of anybody that has an addiction. Historically, we have said that the disease model have been valued by doctors, physicians, nurses, and everybody in the care team. They have embraced that cancer because it provides convenience for treatment when consider addiction not a moral issue but a disorder. It becomes to society as a goal to solve. And we have seen this, for instance, we give reference to the Canadian Youth in Focus. This is a book on substance abuse in Canada at page 39. We can say that addiction also in general are not being viewed all the time the same way in every country. And there are like many substances that they consider normal. Like someone drinking coffee, they will not say a big deal to say the person is addicted. It's not a big deal if you're addicted to coffee. If you're addicted to tea also, this is not a big deal. But when you start have addiction to cigarette, for instance, some people are allergic to it. So they start to have an issue. To weed, you start to create issue, or to cocaine or heroin or alcohol, or even to the opioid. Since addiction has many aspects, it affect also like biopsychosocial aspect, meaning it affect the person physique, the person body, it affect the person psyche, emotion, it affect also the person social stratification because it affect the financial aspect. Once you have financial issue, then addiction become a problem for your social integration. And it happens to many people. They end up to fight, and when they have to fight, they have like police report on them. So when they apply to job, employer will see that, they review that, and they see the person has been involved in fight. Many positions, those people not be able to fulfill in society, especially for a job that's very important, job that deal with human being or social service, for instance. Someone went involved in fight too much because as a result of addiction may not be qualified for that job. After they consider addiction as a disorder, then there are many possibilities to cure that disorder. And see, then we see they have rehabilitation. For instance, we will show you later that where we are actually is a rehab where people may be able to receive treatment, right? And we're doing our internship actually in that field because we are into studying now actually. Very soon to have a license too. So most treatment center they consider addiction as a disorder, and it allows the healthcare team to help people to recover from addiction. There is another model of disease that associated with addiction, but that also led to moral issue. The moral model emphasizes more likely on the main reason why people are addicted because they have low moral standard. But the moral standard doesn't allow the healthcare team to cure people, but instead to blame and judge people, and that's not a job. We should not be the judge of people, right? If someone has a fever, you're not going to judge the person because the person has a fever to say because of the person's fault. It's not. Same thing for addiction. That's why the moral model have been rejected. There is no moral issue when it comes to addiction. It is a disorder. The learning theory model focus more on physiology, right? Like cognition, because before people start drinking, for instance, there is always an issue behind the drink. The drink doesn't emerge like that. Sometimes people look at for evasion, they look at for an alternative to a problem. It may be a financial problem, a psychological problem, emotional problem, physical problem. It may be any kind of stressor in the person's life, and the person will start drinking to forget about the problem or start smoking. And until they start one time, they become addicted to it because the body creates dependence to that. The learning theory model stress more likely into the social aspect of addictions because people learn to society. If you watch a movie, you see an actor smoking Marlboro cigarette, right? Then you like the actor, you're going to smoke Marlboro cigarette if you are influenced by that actor. But there's a social model. So many people, they're influenced by what they see other people do, by peer influence. So these also are viewed as the model, the social learning model. There is the third model, which is the psychoanalytic model. The psychoanalytic theory is the version of psychology made famous by Sigmund Freud. Right? Sigmund Freud, everybody knows Freud as the father of psychoanalysis. And many of his concepts are being viewed as conflictual, but they have many truths behind them. The cause of addiction is viewed as the stage of infancy. Right? During the different stage of the psychosexual theory, people who do not actually realize what they're supposed to learn in this stage, let's say, the anal stage or the adolescent stage, whatever they didn't realize, they're at a fixation point. And when they avoid personal accountability to denial, they return to modern drinking. For instance, people who are more likely into drink, they said they have a problem when they were babies. This is according to Sigmund Freud theory. And we also see a view that explains, I will read it, wasting therapy time, maybe sometimes the psychosexual theory is long to bring up cure to people when they use that. It takes so much time because it's long, and it required to review the person's infancy and all the stage to see where the problem comes from. Because always we're going back in the past to see where the etiology of the presenting problem. Recent development in psychodynamics have addressed this concern, and they have developed several modalities in psychosexual theory that contribute to the treatment of addiction. Those psychodynamic theory include interpersonal psychotherapy, which is referred as IPT, interpersonal psychotherapy, with modified dynamic group therapy, MDGT, and also supportive expressive psychotherapy, SE. We have the fourth model, which is the family theory model. The family theory model based on the individual addiction which is understood without considering the person's relationship to his family. Family theory has said that individuals as a whole tend to resist change, which in turn may affect the progress of the individual. Defining the term family as in the word family, mean the immediate family, for instance, parents, mother, father, brother, sister, and the significant other, friend, extended family member, cousin, grandparent, uncle, nieces. The significant other may be partner too. So what I want to focus in that model therapy of addiction is sometimes there is influence to what we see other people do, and the contextual family therapy, the network therapy, the community reinforcement approach, what we see people do influence us as a leader, one little boy, little girl. And if we see our father smoke, then we think it's okay to smoke too. Well, it's not. But because in the family there is a habit of smoking, that some people continue to do that, and which is wrong. The biopsychosocial model, in contrast to the traditional theories, is called as a more comprehensive therapy, since it is based between the biological, the physiological, and the social aspect of addiction. Meaning, it covers the genetics, it covered also the emotion of the person, and it covered the finance of the person. Your finance will determine in what social stratification you are. So we will continue that program in about a couple of hours. We will see that there are like different models of addiction. But remember, anybody, no matter your race, ethnicity, age, gender, social stratification, religion, anybody is vulnerable to addiction.